I'm Nicole Bachnight Johnson, Vice President of Advancement and Communications and the Executive Director of Hudson County Community College's Foundation. I'm here with the President of Hudson County Community College, Dr. Chris Reber, to talk about two small but mighty words that we don't hear enough about today: please and thank you. Today, we're going to focus on the latter. In philanthropy, there's a well known rule of thumb that it takes 7 expressions of gratitude to really resonate before a donor understands that you mean and appreciate their support. And get this, donors are 4 times as likely to give if you're thanked and they're thanked in a 48-hour period. And that's according to the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Ultimately, gratitude works. And that's why today's event, our first ever thankathon, matters so much. It's our chance to express our appreciation in a way that's personal, supportive, and student driven.
Absolutely.
Right? And I want to start by thanking our president for supporting this event and for championing authentic leadership and engagement and generosity across our campus. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Nicole, thank you for inviting me and thank you for doing this. I wish everyone were here seeing what's happening. We have students all over the room that are calling and thanking wonderful donors who have contributed to their welfare, scholarship funding that can actually be life-changing for them. And it's really inspirational. So thanks for making it happen.
Absolutely. And I want to thank my team, who, of course, is beside me in making sure events like this take place. So, how do you personally view the role of philanthropy in supporting students here at the college?
A mentor of mine that I knew earlier in my career, who was a really wonderful fundraiser, really good at it, once said to me, and it's framed my thinking about this ever since, when a donor makes a gift, it should bring them great joy. Mm-hmm. That ultimately, what philanthropy is about is providing opportunity to individuals that have strong passions, values, life experiences, and that have the ability to make a financial investment that can really make a difference and be life-changing, and benefiting some area that is personal or important to them. And so there's nothing to me more inspirational than people who give to create opportunities like scholarships, like study abroad, for students, knowing, since I've spent half of my life and all of my career in higher education, knowing what it means to the students. Our students here, particularly, given our mission at Hudson County Community College, are having life-changing opportunity. Most of our students are the first in their families to pursue a college education. It's incredibly important to them. And they're having a world of opportunity open to them through the classroom, through the engagement, through all the opportunities that are provided to them. But they are incredibly needing, they need incredible support financially. They don't come from high income families, and many of them are working full time to make it possible to earn a degree. Many of them are parents navigating raising kids while trying to be the first in their families to have a degree. And when they graduate and go on, whether it be transferring to four-year schools, gainful employment, they have opportunity unlike anything they've ever experienced before. And we often say we're located in the shadow, literally, of the Statue of Liberty. And it's such a metaphor for the experience of our students. We welcome every student that comes through our doors. We don't choose our students, they choose us. And we meet them where they are, and we help them achieve their goals and dreams. And we couldn't do it without kind, generous people that make an investment that they may never even realize, but I can tell you is likely going to change lives, is likely going to make the difference between a student being able to finish or not because of financial or other reasons. And so it's such a noble thing to do. And I think for the people that make gifts here that know our students, and we do want them to meet the students they're benefiting, I think it brings them incredible joy. It's an incredibly meaningful thing to do. And for those that want to and have the ability to make gifts that can name things, there's an opportunity to honor a family member or someone close to the donor or some people close to the donor or an organization that'll live on in perpetuity, because that'll always be a named scholarship here that will honor someone. So we want every person that is interested in helping our students to understand how students feel about it, which is what this Thankathon is about. And we also want donors to fully understand how important and life-changing what they're doing really is.
I always say there's no better investment than investing in a student's aspirations and dreams. It yields a better return than anything you could do in the stock market.
And Nicole, it's cross-generational. So you're making a difference in the life of a student. And given the nature of our students, it's also therefore immediately making a difference in the lives of their children, their families, their schools, their communities. But it also inspires others.
Yes.
So often students that benefit from the generosity of others, they're going to go on and pay it back.
Right.
They're going to go on and be inspired to do the same thing when they're successful. And it has a ripple effect that can go well beyond our lifetimes.
Is there something you can think about how that you want to tell a story about that conveys our impact and investment in the local community when you think about giving and gratitude?
There are so many student stories that come immediately to mind. Nothing brings me greater joy and the opportunities I have to be president here than when I get to know students and I hear their stories. And I encourage them to tell, we all encourage our students to tell their stories because our students are the reason all of us are here. And they have stories that will bring tears to your eyes, will bring joy to your heart. I'm thinking of one student in particular. It's just the first one that came to mind. This is a real life story. It's a student. He was here just 5 or 6 years ago. He is the son of 2 people that never had the opportunity to have a degree. I think his mother is from, can't remember the countries. I think his father's from Mexico. His mother was from maybe Central America. But they wanted him to have the opportunity they never had. And yet they were not, they were poor, quite honestly. He tells the story and he's told it here. He spoke at commencement telling the story later on. His mom was, was on the cleaning staff at a motel. His father had a little flower business, and they just wanted to accumulate everything they could. They would scrape money together and put it in a fund to send Pedro to college. And when it came time for him to go to school, they couldn't afford to go to private schools or more expensive schools. He came here, and he was such a dynamic student, so incredibly grateful to his parents for making it possible to be here, but also got involved in all kinds of volunteer service. You would see him at Liberty State Park with our Phi Theta Kappa organization, doing things on weekends to clean up and working at Thanksgiving in food banks and on. And he studied extremely hard. He graduated with 4.0 grade point average. He was our valedictorian. He won one of 40 scholarships from the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, which provides a full ride for a student moving from a community college to a 4-year school and then for graduate study, and was one of only 8 students admitted from a community college to Princeton University, where he is now finishing, I think, his doctorate. Now, what does he want to do? He wants to give it back. He wants to give back. He wants to teach community college students. STEM-related coursework because that's what his background is. I just think it's a beautiful story, and I had the opportunity when he spoke at commencement he introduced me to his parents,
Oh, how
and
wonderful.
I think his mom doesn't speak English, and they're just so glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, this student, like so many others who have stories like that from
Mm-hmm.
Hudson County Community College, he's going to go on and do incredibly great things, and he has this heart of just immense gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we see so many students like this. Really, all of our students.
Absolutely.
I've never, in all of my 45 years of working in 2 and 4 year colleges and universities, I've been in great places, fortunately, all through my career, but I've never been in an environment that has been more inspirational
Mm-hmm.
than this college because our students are just having so much life changing opportunity and they're so enormously grateful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like attracts like. I think
Mhm.
that the spirit of giving and gratitude extends through our students, our faculty, our staff, and leadership, and it shows. So, what advice do you have for alumni or volunteers who want to stay involved with the college after graduation or want to change the volunteer roles that they may hold?
Yeah, during the pandemic when we all had to come together and support one another, and we did that here. So many silent heroes, and during that time, our students began to tell their stories. We actually brought people together virtually when we couldn't be next to each other or on ground, and encouraged people to support one another and tell their stories. And we kept hearing a theme coming from students. This college is about more than my getting a degree. I didn't realize that when I started here. I wasn't sure I could balance everything. But now I realize this is a place where I feel loved, where I feel cared about, where I feel I matter, and people respect me, and people respect differences. And this is really like a second home. Or some students have said, this really is my home, and it feels like my family. And some of our colleagues who were hearing these stories not from this college, said, you need to capture what students are saying. They keep saying Hudson's home.
Mm-hmm.
That's now our tagline. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
it everywhere. Here
In
it is.
fact, yeah.
Hudson is home. Our students coined this as an expression of how they feel about the care and concern here. So for our students, I think it's natural for them as they go on in their lives. They're going to want to come back. They do come back. And I think especially now that there's such strong camaraderie and sense of community here, we always say to students, remember, at graduation, Hudson is home. Hudson will always be your home. So we encourage our alumni to come back and get involved in some area of the college that's meaningful. Naturally,
Mm-hmm.
we hope some of our alumni will give back in financial ways to help their students following in their footsteps, but there are so many ways to get involved as a volunteer. We have major events that require volunteer help, like our annual gala. It's such a wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
inspirational celebration. All of our academic programs have advisory boards where we invite community members to give feedback on how to keep our curricula relevant. And we are really getting an alumni association off the ground that's beginning to really grow. And
Mm-hmm.
so we would love nothing more than to invite alumni back, and we can talk to every alumnus or alumna about what kind of volunteerism is available here that would be meaningful to them. It's not, we have alumni coming back now wanting to mentor students,
Mm-hmm.
students who may be experiencing some of the challenges they were able to navigate. And it just makes for a richer college experience. And Nicole, I'm remembering also that a few years ago we began a program to bring back and recognize long-serving faculty and staff
Mm-hmm.
who've retired. And we have a process every year where faculty and staff that have been here a certain number of years can be nominated to get what we call emeritus status. They get the honorific title of assistant professor of whatever they might have
Mm-hmm.
taught, emeritus or emerita. And it's just a way of encouraging them to remain involved in the HCCC family, which is what we call it. Hudson
Right.
is home. We're a family. and they're encouraged to come back and remain involved in college life and interact with our students and mentor our students. So we want this not just to be a place where students spend 2, 3, 4 years, but a place where they feel they have had a transformational experience and a place that they can always feel part of and can give back in whatever ways are meaningful to them.
My final question is, how has the generosity of our donors enabled us as an institution to respond dynamically to the needs of our students and even our faculty and staff in service to our students?
Absolutely. So, well, one thing I've got to mention is our nationally distinctive art collection, and this was the legacy, one of the many legacies of my predecessor, Dr. Glenn Gaber, who served as president here for 25 years. He is an art expert. He loves art, and he got this started, which now has been growing year after year. It's an art collection that our HCCC Foundation manages that now includes over 2,000 original pieces of artwork in different in different formats, and we also have sculpture. And these pieces are either donated to the college or are purchased with funding donated by donors. So it's not costing the college to acquire the pieces. In fact, we couldn't afford to. But we now have 2,000 pieces. We have an art curator who actually helps us determine what pieces are going to be most meaningful to our students in terms of the curricula that we offer. So these are shared in different courses as they have relevance for coursework. And they pervade every internal space at the college. So in many ways, our college is also an art museum. And each piece has information under it that explains the artist and something about the piece. And most of our students have likely never had the opportunity to really appreciate art and learn art. Although we have some great art programs, by the way. But most of our students are experiencing art through this this wonderful resource that surrounds them everywhere they go. And it's making an indelible impact on them beyond whatever discipline they may be learning. The final piece that I'll share as well is we are now creating an endowment. The college has not historically had an endowment. So with Nicole's leadership and the support of so many on our foundation board and others, we have been developing the opportunity for donors to endow gifts, meaning they provide over time or immediately a level of resources that we can invest, and then the earnings on those through interest are used each year to fulfill a scholarship purpose. The principal grows relative to inflation and is not used in direct support. It's the interest, and as it snowballs, each year it generates more funding that can be used to support our students. Why is this important? It's really, we're growing a margin of excellence that will allow us in perpetuity to have resources that are going to grow over time to support our students regardless of whatever the situation might be outside of our control. You know, when you lose the opportunity for funding at the local, state, or national level, for whatever reasons that are beyond your control, this endowment will always be there, and it will be growing and allow us to support students. I want to share that for me personally, I have been through payroll deduction funding my own scholarship, my own endowed scholarship. And when I set it up, it was pre-pandemic, and I chose at that time to have the focus of the scholarship be on supporting students who are undocumented or students who are from a foreign country, because we know many of those students are really struggling financially because they may not be able to work because they don't have a social security number, and they are not eligible for most financial aid programs. And now, these many years later, that has become a need here that's even more pronounced and that many people believe in. And I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to get something started that I hope is going to grow and give us an opportunity to support students who often don't, aren't able to avail themselves of support other students receive. That brings me joy.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
everything you're doing and have done. And thank you especially to our donors who have invested their resources in making the aspirations of our students and our community possible. We take your investment very seriously, and we continue to be good stewards and of the investment that you're making in us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts.